Russia is experiencing problems with the production of modern HAL-101 cruise missiles. This was reported by the British Ministry of Defense. Citing intelligence data, the agency said that missile debris that fell into a field in the Saratov region were seen in open-source photographs dated March the 31st. At first, they were mistaken for the remains of a Ukrainian drone, but later it turned out that they were fragments of a Russian-made HAL-101 missile.
The AS-23A Kodiak is Russia's premier precision-guided munition with a range of approximately 4,000 kilometers. It has been used extensively against Ukraine, most recently targeting energy infrastructure across the country. The highly likely malfunction of such a prestigious missile indicates issues in its production, likely impacted by sanctions and being rushed to meet the demands of the conflict. From a publication by the UK Ministry of Defense on social network X.
Experts believe that despite the problems with imported components, the Kremlin will not abandon the use of these missiles. In their opinion, the Federation can resort to the principle of demodernization when new parts are replaced with old, but more affordable ones. As analysts predict, Moscow will not return to the production of rockets or 50-year-old models because the corresponding production chains have long been destroyed.
Ситуация тяжелая.
The situation is difficult, and unfortunately there is no point in counting on Russian missile terror ending in the coming weeks or months. The strikes are more reminiscent of sabotage rather than terror. The enemy has chosen the Ukrainian industry, which is being revived, which our country is trying to revive, as the main target. So far, such an unobvious direction is attacks on our oil and gas infrastructure, including the gas transit industry, because in Russia the agreement with Europe on gas transit is expiring, and they are thus sending a signal to our European partners.
After the Ukraine-NATO meeting, Jens Stoltenberg said that the continuation of hostilities in Ukraine could follow two scenarios. In his opinion, if Kyiv receives enough weapons, then Ukraine will be able to regain control of its occupied territories. If the assistance is insufficient, there is a risk that Russia will seize more Ukrainian territories.
This is the only way to convince President Putin that he will not win on the battlefield, and that is the only way to convince him that he has to sit down at the negotiation table and find an acceptable solution in which Ukraine prevails as a sovereign and independent nation. I strongly believe that's possible. Jens Stoltenberg, Secretary General of NATO, at the press conference.
According to Ukrainian military intelligence, Russia used newly manufactured expensive ballistic missiles to attack the Ukrainian power grid in March. According to the Financial Times, the aggressor has enough ammunition for one or two more major attacks in the coming weeks. The publication notes that in general, Russia has changed its tactics, using missiles to destroy infrastructure in less protected areas. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Andriy Dmitrenko, UATV News.